The traditional agency model is broken and doesn't work for most companies trying to generate online sales. And let me get to the downsides with this model. So often a company will charge either hourly, they'll have a fixed rate, or they'll charge a set rate and then charge a percentage of ad spend. So let's say your campaign is doing pretty well, you spend $100,000 in ad spend, they take 10,000, 15,000 of that and then charge a fixed rate, like several thousand per month. Now it can vary widely depending on how big the team is, their level of experience, the agency you go with, what's required. But for this example, we'll just say like $30,000 for a several month campaign. So you start off $30,000 in the hole, and then you're spending your money to run the ads, and it's very unclear how successful they'll be, how profitable they'll be. So if the ads don't do well, you'll pretty quickly go in the negative territory. And even if, let's say, you're paying the agency $10,000 a month, but the ads are generating $8,000 a month in profit, you're still ending up behind. And they can be doing a little bit better, but if they're not performing as well as some of your other traffic channels, you could still have them do okay, or have them kind of work for a while and then stop working, still end up behind. It's only if the ads do incredibly well that you actually go to break even or turn really profitable. So it's just a big hill to climb going from negative to actually turning them profitable. It can work out really well if the ads do super well, but you're taking a big risk to your own profit, to your own performance. So a lot of companies opt for using affiliates instead, which can be really awesome. You're only paying when they generate sales for you. So you're not really risking anything, but there's some downsides to managing a bunch of affiliates. A lot of them may post on coupon sites. If they're really using horrible, spammy tactics, your site can even get banned. I know some people who've had this happen to them. And it's managing a whole lot of people, and some may generate 0 sales or hardly any sales. And it's just a lot of people to approve and manage. You want to like set rules and agreements and actually try to make sure people are following them, make sure that your brand is being shown in a good light and is not making a lot of people who really dislike your brand or see you as spammy. So affiliate marketing is an awesome option. I think the best though is actually working with a company that does performance marketing. So again, you're not really risking anything because you're only paying either per sale that's generated or a percentage of profits that are generated. But you can actually approve some of the material or work with someone who's really familiar with Facebook ads, is really going to show your brand in an amazing light, and you're not needing to manage like a dozen people or worry about spammy tactics or your site getting banned. You're working with someone who follows all the rules, knows all the rules. And I actually like doing it for people because our interests are really perfectly aligned. You know, if it's a set rate, I really like doing it this way because my interests and the customer's interests are perfectly aligned. We both benefit greatly if a bunch of sales are generated and the business grows quite a bit. Like with a traditional agency, you may call someone up and say you can pay them $30,000 and kind of wonder if they took you on as a client because they needed work, or if they truly believe that they can generate an unbelievable amount of sales and it's going to be a perfect fit. Whereas me having skin in the game, I'm really exclusive with who I work with, but you know with certainty that I truly believe the campaign is going to do unbelievably well. The reason I like doing it this way is the customer's interests and my interests are perfectly aligned. Like if you call up an agency and offer to pay them to do an ad campaign, they may take you on just because they need more business and need to bring in more revenue. Whereas I actually have skin in the game and I'm risking time and money. So you really know that I truly believe in your product, truly believe it can be really profitable because I'm taking on that risk myself. So when you're considering your options, definitely also consider affiliate marketing and also performance marketing, where you can work with someone with experience who shows your brand in a great light where you still only pay for the results that they generate. If you're interested in working with me and my team, you can apply down below. And we are exclusive with who we work with, but if you apply and don't get in, we have a lot of free, awesome resources that we want to send to you as well. So don't hesitate if you're interested, apply down below.